best crypto asset? Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Which one's the best crypto asset? Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Which one's the best? 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 What's the second best?
This is Discover Crypto. Smash that like button. I don't even know how to do the intro after I said that. Folks, today we got a very serious episode. We're going to talk about the Bitcoin crash that's happening right now, but it is a trap because we have a 200K Bitcoin happening before you even can consider it. You're going to look at your portfolio and just be saying, wow, we are in Valhalla. It is a very special Friday episode. We got to talk about what Wall Street's doing. Are they cooking up a dump season? And I'm joined by TJ today. And like I said, smash those likes, everybody. It really helps us out.
Good morning. Good morning. Good. Happy to be here hanging out. Drew and I were up at 1, 2 in the morning with the Discord fam. I know a lot of you guys caught that move last night, already closed profits this morning. Drew, I think, was up till 4:15, babysitting an Ave long. So now we're back at the bottom of that range, maybe ready to run it again. So let's
look here. Speaking of the bottom of the range, you can see on the Bitcoin 5-minute candles, we had a dump start happening here. This was yesterday, about 3 p.m. Bitcoin fell pretty significantly, fell $4,200. This is over about 9 hours. Then Bitcoin started to show signs of life this morning. This is 5 a.m. Bitcoin started, that was just a little flash in the pan, grabbing some liquidity. But now Bitcoin trying to put some fresh lows in. And I definitely don't hate a liquidity sweep down here, followed by, maybe opening a long, getting some positions open. I did open a couple altcoin trades around 12 last night. Took a little profit, should have maybe closed the entire thing. So we'll check in on that in a little bit here. But Bitcoin, I got to tell you why this is reminding me of this right here. And we're going to jump in that in a second here. But I do want to look at where's the rest of the crypto market heading here. Let's hit refresh here. You can see, whoo, look how all those greens turned into the red just now. Bitcoin is now down 2.4%. XRP now down about 4%. ETH is actually holding flat, holding a little strong here. It's still in the green on the 24-hour. Solana's down about 4% here. Tron also looking okay. Tron's up about 0.5%. But let's look for the big movers, shakers in the market. We have Athena and Curve and Sky. DeFi ruling the land, TJ here.
Ethereum DeFi right there. All of those. And another thing that I was noticing when you were looking at the majors, ETH wasn't as impacted as much as some of the other altcoins that have pulled back. Aave similarly. That was part of what the thesis was. Drew's been working with. Aave has been somewhat easy to trade. They've been pretty good setups where it's winning more and losing less. So looking at the ETH ecosystem right now, it's very obviously huge inflows. We're going to talk about that a little bit later in the show.
Deborah here. This is my mother's name. Rest in peace. Deborah asking, how do you make money with stable coins when they're pegged to the US dollar? How would you answer that, TJ?
There's a variety of different ways. It's mostly the way we do it is through concentrated liquidity pools. You can actually
whoa. If someone's asking how I make money with stablecoin, I don't know what you're saying now, TJ. You gotta lower it down, lower it here.
Okay. So when you see DEXs coming out, things like Black Hole, things like Arrow, and a lot of these other types of
decentralized exchanges, basically that offer services with stable coins where you can swap in and out and stuff.
Yeah, and stablecoin is a perfect example. Stablecoin yielding on Moonwell right now is 8 to 10%. So there's a couple, Aave same way. They're not same percentages, but there's a couple different ways you can do it. You can just put your stable coins on that platform, which obviously that has a third party, some counterparty risk, and you'll get a percentage on. You'll get way more on any DeFi platform than you'll get in any bank account. 8% insane on cash. Or there's other plays like, again, Black Hole right now, it's new. They're trying to get USDT, USDC pairs going. So you can even run a concentrated liquidity pool, stable to stable, USDC to USDT in a 0.01 range or 0.1 range, super tight range, and get 1 to 2% on that a month. And, that obviously rolls up to over 20% a year, 22, 24% a year on cash, which gets people extremely excited. Yeah, somebody says it right here, Black Hole and wrapped AVAX pool they're in. So there's a lot of different ways to do that. Obviously, we talk about that in the Discord. We have a DeFi workshop every Wednesdays with Crypto Vet, which if you guys haven't checked that channel out, DeFi, Crypto, and Airdrops, another one of our partner channels here. Lots of good information. Yeah, people are killing it with Mamo in there too. So happy to see the Disco fam making a lot of money doing that. There's an endless amount of opportunities in crypto. So whether you like just buying and holding for the long term, whether you like day trading or DeFi, that's what's really cool. And what I really love about crypto is there's an endless amount of opportunities. If you just show up every day and apply yourself, there's a lot of money to be made.
All right, there you go, folks. And let's look at just the big dumpers real quick. Pengu, Bonk, and Fartcoin all leading the way here. All of them down pretty significantly. And we see some Solana DeFi actually dropping. Well, Solana, I guess, taken down. I don't like the staked Solana losing more value than regular Solana.
Yeah, that's not good.
No, not a good thing. I guess a lot of people are getting out of Solana DeFi and moving into maybe some ETH DeFi here. Athena getting ready for a run. Should have bought more side. Many such cases in crypto, folks. That's just how it goes. Now, I did say I want to show you something where this right here is looking very similar to this area right here. This is daily candles we're looking at, and Bitcoin had a breakout followed by some explosive moves to the upside and then consolidated. You can see some pretty large wicks. Then you see a really good green daily candle making people feel, oh, the bull market's going to definitely be back on. But then we got some bearishness, which fully engulfed what we gained just in 2 candles worth. And then it was off to the races. But you can see after the red day, we did go lower. So that means this daily candle opened lower, opened right here, dipped low. Oh, this is definitely, we're going lower, and then ended up closing much higher, wicked as high as there. This daily candle opened here, wicked even lower, a lower low. This is your chance to flee. Bitcoin's about to dump. Bitcoin goes on a huge run. This time period is April 2025. If you go forward to what we're looking at right here, I'm not gonna lie, this looked a little bit better this morning, but now we have the red candle coming below these wicks. So maybe this is going to repeat. Maybe it's not. I just wanted to show until about an hour ago, a lot of similarities in these 2 different structures here. And you even see like the little green wick, you know, where it wicks, it sticks. Get ready for the bullishness. But the bears were in control. But still feeling slightly bullish here. Let's go to the 4-hour RSI. We could create some bullish diversions here. Let's go to the 2-hour. You know, if we do coil around in about 40 hour and 15 minutes, that's definitely going to be a little bit of a bull div. And then we'll go to the 1 hour. Maybe a little bit hidden divs here, but yeah, definitely a little bit of bullishness on the medium time frame.
Yeah, I'll give you my I feel like we're kind of at a decision point. If we don't get back above some significant levels today, like back up into that 1.7, you know, above 116 in that 117 range, we could be looking. If you go down to that next kind of what looks like point of control, a little bit lower, you know, the bottom of that yellow trend line, what price range is that around? Is that around like 110, 112?
Yeah, this is 107. The top end about 112. So yeah. 112, 117. Yeah, a lot more liquidity in this range versus this range.
Yeah, and so basically, if we don't get back above that level today, I would not be shocked at all if we go back down to around that 110 to 113 level, which would be great. It fills that old CME gap, gets rid of it. And then, yes, we haven't closed it yet, but if we go down to those levels, that 112, 110-ish level, that will be closed. Order books will be clear. Free path to move, you know, to just turn up back to 140 and then all the way up to 200, which I do believe we will see very, very soon before the end of the year. And on that note, I did want to share this real quick because you were breaking it down, and Quentin shared this, and I think it's really important. This is why we come on this channel and do this every day and tell people that, lost my scene there. That this is an extremely important thing. This graph right here, the purple is retail and the pink is big money, smart money, people that know how to invest. Look at what's going on. Prices going down, retail selling, and they sold a ton when it very first started moving up.
Oh, that makes retail look pretty dumb when you look at it this way.
Dumb money. Okay, now prices going up. Look, dumb money selling, smart money shoving all in right now. And that's the trap I want to, you know, what you were just breaking down of like, oh, if it goes back to say 110, you're going to see this number continue to grow because people are like, oh, that was it. That was the top. It was the double top. It's over. I need to sell, get out. If I don't take my profits now, I may not get it. This right here shows the difference between who's going to win in the long term and who's going to, you know, lose in the long term. You can take these short-term gains if you want. You can get out and you can get scared. And that's what they're trying to do when they push this levels down. but clearly big money is coming in. Obviously, this started this year. You can see once we had the clarity, right here at the it's not showing my cursor, but right here, there it is, right here at the bottom of, this is January 2025. This is probably election time. Right around election time, huge influx of smart money buying. So I just want to put that out there. This graph was Quentin. I highly recommend following Quentin 0480. Good account, posts a lot of good stuff. So basically, smart investors shoving all in, dumb money selling off. Don't be dumb. That's the message for you today. We are going to 200K soon. That's why these people are buying this. It's also going much higher than that in the long term. So yeah, that was my message for the day. Don't share. And well, one of the biggest dumpers. I guess we'll go ahead and do this. Let's rile up the XR people.
Are you gonna piss off the XRP community? Is that what you're about to say?
Why not? I did it yesterday. Let's do it again.
Don't say let's. No, we here. I don't want to get thrown in. So, yeah. We covered the Ripple founder. Dumping.
Yeah, he was selling off. I just thought this graph was fascinating. This is like his sell-offs. These are his wallets. Huge run up. So every time there's a huge spike price, massive.
He's selling like the ETH Foundation in 2021.
Yeah, he's got 6 billion more. So just keep that in mind.
All right, we got a $2 super chat. DZ, chance you see what are the chances we see a $4.20 Cardano this cycle? I would put that above 50%. As far as like exact number, 69% odds. I'm not sure, but I am definitely feeling a little bit more likely than unlikely here. And DZ, what trades are you in? Asked Andrew Aiken while TJ was talking. I did open a Pengu long.
Nice.
And if we check in on that, it is, like we said, we just literally opened it slightly in the green, but we were also in a Chainlink and an Aave long.
Hell yeah.
All of those, considerably lower leverage than 50x. But let's talk about the major news yesterday. R.I.P. Hulk Hogan. And naive meme always got the good crypto memes. When your family and wifey says you were right about Bitcoin. Rest in peace, Hulkamania. Do we have any Hulkamaniacs in the chat? I was a really big fan of the Hulk movie. I think it was No Holds Barred, and it had Debo from Friday starring as his antagonist. So shout out to Hulk. Also, Rocky IV, one of the most 80 scenes ever. Rocky, Stallone, and Mr. T all in the same venue.
Yeah, true American. I feel like he really does epitomize kind of American culture. 80s, 90s, 2000s.
I did make a couple $100 trading a Hulk Hogan meme coin yesterday.
Nice.
I don't know if that makes me a good person or a bad person.
Ah, good. You crushed it, and you gave it to the community, so they probably crushed it too. So
I tried. All right, Rocky 3, not Rocky 4. Oh man, I am deeply ashamed by getting that one wrong there. But let's get into the crypto news now. TJ, I heard you have a clip of Jerome Powell and Donald Trump talking about the renovations here.
Yeah, they're bringing back a new season of The Office. So this was the pilot. In the pilot, they ran this teaser of we're gonna have the new Jim and Michael Scott.
Oh, okay.
So you can figure out who's who, I guess. But
I don't know who's who. That one.
I
like Robert California on the left.
Robert California.
And then that's Gabe on the right.
I forgot about Robert California, man. Those are
one of the best television characters of all time. I would say he's even better than Dwight Schrute. I said it.
Oh wow! All right, let me make sure this is
all right. Maybe not better than Dwight, but he's up there.
He's got a long way to go. Yes, sir. So.
Are there things the chairman can say to you today that would make you back off some of the earlier criticism?
Well, I'd love him to lower interest rates. Other than that, what can I tell you?
Yeah.
Like he's got a long way to
did
go.
the alpha move, the slap on the back alpha.
Yeah. And then interestingly, today he comes out and says he thinks they might be ready to lower rates. There was a longer one. I forgot to pull it up. I can't find it. Yeah, where he hands them the paper. I don't know if that's the one you wanted me to play. Sorry.
No. I mean, I like Josh's best friend on the left there, Eric Adams.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically just a lot of criticisms heading the Fed's way, and we're gonna do a little breakdown. I'll answer the question: what the heck does the Fed do? I asked Grok, and I said, explain it to me like I'm in 8th grade. I actually went down a rabbit hole. I was talking to it for like 15 minutes this morning. I had a show to prepare for. It was some fascinating answers. I kept wanting to say, well, why don't they just print instead of borrow and letting bankers get rich off the interest? Didn't really have a good answer. I've never heard a good answer for that question.
Yeah, I wanted to clarify that. That isn't Eric Adams. It is Tim Scott from the committee.
Tim Scott. God, that makes me sound bad. All right, let's move forward here. This is the best joke I've seen. Nick Carter Why is the new Fed headquarters so expensive? Because they needed to make room for the basement.
Yeah, that was a really good one.
That was good. That was just
Too
gold.
good.
You definitely get a like there on that one. Nick Carter, if you don't know, Nick Carter I saw Nick Carter fight. I think didn't he fight at Bitcoin 2024 in Nashville?
I can't remember if that's where it was or if it was at one of the token ones, but yeah, he's Bitcoin OG. And he's on a treasury company, isn't he, or not? I can't remember.
I'm not sure. Let's click on his thing. Just says tummy ache survivor. So
yeah,
I don't know what he's doing.
He's funny. I like Nick. He's been a good Bitcoin contributor for a very, very, very long time. Not the Backstreet Boy.
Anyone that has Javier Bardem, you know, profile or the banner there, pretty good in my book. Crit Cat's here. AVAX or Chainlink? What is going to be a better play for this cycle? That's actually two very, very strong projects. AVAX ETH chart really makes me think AVAX is going to outperform, but Chainlink's connection to the Trump administration, Sergey, 63%, I think, of DeFi is, secured by the Chainlink oracles. It's really, really tough for me to choose one of those. Chainlink reluctantly, but man, I'm really close to 50-50 on that one.
Yeah, I would say that's a tough one because it's two different risks, if that makes sense. So Chainlink, I think they both perform well, like you just said, DZ. Chainlink has a lower floor, like it's going to do well. It's going to be used. They're going to be used in Swift. Like it's extremely integrated with the updating of the entire financial system. Long term, I feel like Chainlink. Now, Avalanche, if it wins something in the L1 category, could outperform Chainlink in the short term, but it also could not end up being a prominent L1 and fade a lot faster. So if you're talking about over the next 6 months, which one's going to see more gains? God, that's still tough. Maybe I'd probably put Avalanche, but you're risking, Yeah,
Avalanche has a speculative move with onboarding California's DMV records on the Avalanche chain.
Yeah.
Will that turn into something? If it does, you smoke Chainlink. If it's a nothing burger and Chainlink just quietly secures all of DeFi, well, Chainlink wins.
Well, and they've got
Gavin Newsom knows the answer to this.
Off the Grid, is on Avalanche. They've got the gaming crowd on Avalanche. So
shout out to Crypto Stash.
Yeah,
he's still playing Off the Grid. I don't think he likes me anymore.
Oh,
but
no.
Crypto Stash, I got no problem. I sent him a message asking about gaming, and he's like, "Oh wow, you're reaching out after years, huh?" Okay.
That's trash. That's pretty.
I get it. He chose his side, and that's all right. But maybe he'll revisit and come back to the disco.
Yeah, Crypto Stash, one of the earlier people I met in crypto, doing Long Beach meetups. That's where him and Mark Moss out there in Long Beach, California. We were doing Bitcoin meetups in 2019, maybe it was. Yeah, he'll probably come back around.
Yeah, Long Beach, California. Snoop Dogg's from there, and Derek from American. Anyways, let's talk about the Fed here. Fed customers get mad at grocery. This is from Balaji, I think one of the smartest people in crypto. He was the original CTO for Coinbase. If you know anything about CTOs, especially back then, the CTO is a good shot. He's the smartest guy in the company. He was the CTO for Coinbase, a company full of also very, very smart and intelligent people there. But customers get mad at grocery store prices because they can't see the Fed. Investors get happy about rising stock prices because they can't see the Fed. And everyone's confused about your home price because they can't see the Fed. But Disco fam, you can see the Fed and just look at the dollar's worth of purchasing power. We're not going to go over all of these, but 1913, dollar would get you $26 worth of Hershey's chocolate bar. And that's when they were good, not soy slop like it is today. And let's just do 1933. It'd buy you 10 bottles of beer and you could put them on the wall. That was what you just see how the dollar purchasing power just declines and declines and declines. 2008, it get you 2 lemons. Pathetic. Now barely gets you a McDonald's coffee.
Yeah, it's crazy. I was thinking I was buying
that's probably a loss leader, the coffee.
Yeah, I was buying I bought water at the gas station yesterday, and it kind of hit. I think it ended up being like $7 for a couple waters, and I was just like, dang, I remember when it was like I thought like $7 was expensive for an entire meal.
Mm-hmm. I remember. The sodas were 99 cents, and then you would see 2 for $2.22 is a deal,
right?
And then they're $1.59. I'm real old though.
Yeah, now you get like 2 for $5 or something like that. And I realized I bought basically 3 waters, and it was almost $10. And I was just like, dang, I remember like I could get a steak meal for $10.
Mm-hmm.
since I've been an adult, like not that long ago. It's just the level of inflation is insane. The buying power of the dollar getting crushed. That's going to continue. You know, they're going to print even more. So if you're not holding Bitcoin now, like that graph I showed earlier of the smart money buying, that's why they're doing it, because they got to get out of the dollar, and it's flooding.
I used to think the $5 footlongs were too expensive.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, oh man. Yeah, I remember when they removed it, people were seething. Remember, you used to be able to get 3 pizzas, $5 a piece from Domino's. 3 pizzas for $15 delivered. They delivered and they didn't have extra fees on them. You have to give them a tip. But I did ask Grok. I'm not going to go over the whole thing. Like I said, I end up going into like a deep conversation with I was getting, give me the answers I want. I was screaming into the void. But what does the Fed Reserve do? Explain like I'm in 8th grade. Control the money supply. So if you don't know, the Fed decides how much money is floating around in the economy. If there's too much, you can get inflation. If there's too little, business economy could struggle. That's a recession. They set interest rates. Economists a long time ago decided that 2% is the perfect amount of inflation to incentivize spending. Where'd they get the 2% number? From their butt. They've just pulled it out of thin air. We also have the Fed keeps banks safe unless you deal with crypto and you have Elizabeth Warren breathing down your neck. They also handle payments and they help during crises here. So if something big happens like a crash or a disaster, the Fed steps in to stabilize things. Now, does it make sense? You want me to none of it makes sense. None of it makes sense. They decide to print IOUs instead of just fiscally responsibly printing money. The reason why, if they just printed without an IOU, then they might just be a little more loosey-goosey with printing money. I feel like they're already loosey-goosey. The cat is already out of the bag, and they already can't control how much they print. They're printing IOUs instead of printing cash, but they're just still printing endlessly and relentlessly, and it doesn't look like it's stopping anytime soon. So
I 100% agree.
Big thumbs down for me, but please hit that thumbs up for this channel if you just happen to agree. I think you do. All right, let's talk about a 200K Bitcoin. You saw it in the title. Oh, it's clickbait. No, there's a lot of reasons why we might see 200K. We even got big banks betting on 200K. Bitcoin did just grab some fresh liquidity at this 115 level, but a whale is betting on a 200K Bitcoin price by the end of the year. And so a whale bet $23 million targeting Bitcoin 200K by the end of the year. Basically, it will hit this price in December, signaling a strong bullish conviction. Now, it took out a lot of liquidity as an unknown trader made that big bet of hitting 200K. We don't know who it is just yet. Now, it did slice through resistance, hit a little bit below 115, and that ended up liquidating a lot of people making longs on Bitcoin, wiped out $130 million in the past 24 hours, majority of that in about a 1 hour span there. There you can see, the big liquidity grab, wiping out all these traders, all these green lines, traders losing all their money to the exchanges there. Now, despite this drop, which brought a pause to the rally, the bullish conviction remains. As Deribit analyst noted, a whale recently went long with 23 million position targeting as high as 200K. Now, it is a complex trade that involves a bull call spread. This kind of reminds me of like Paul Pelosi, what he does. Call spreads bet on an imminent all-time high break. But really, he's betting on 140, and he has 200K to kind of help fund something. It gets real convoluted, and you're trying to protect yourself to the upside, to the downside there. But a break below 115 was what traders needed to decide to whether to add or reduce exposure. Looks like it broke out of the range, but it wasn't capitulation, rotation-led correction. And this is according to Swissblock. So they're saying there are buyers. There's a massive amounts of buyers. We're going to get into that, but one more bull case of 200K. This one from Citi Bank, very large bank. Citi Bank, they do have 2 scenarios. One of them, $199,000 Bitcoin. And they kind of explain why it's going to get there. So they do have a forecast of 135, with the bull case of 200K. The reason, ETF flows, but the bear case, 64K under weaker macro conditions. Now, ETF demand now accounts for, according to their analysts, 40% of the price variation for Bitcoin. And they kind of talk a little bit more about the math in a little bit. Now, this outlook incorporates a trio of drivers: user adoption, macro conditions, and ETFs. The core of their approach begins with an adoption model based on user activity. They project 20% increase in user growth, along with the linear network effects. Just that alone gives you $75,000 buoyed on the price. You add in, though, macroeconomic factors. Now we're subtracting. We have some tariffs uncertainty, so now we're down a little bit. equity, gold performance. But then we have an additional 15 billion in ETF flows. This now adds to that equation, adds an additional 63 to the 70. The result, base case target 135K. Now, the analyst did note that the risk to the forecast tilted to the upside. ETF demand accelerating faster than expected. User activity showing a slower than model decay rate, suggesting network effects were going to last longer than you think here. So Citibank, they have like very stringent rules that they must adhere to, that they must follow. They can't just anonymous PFP, 200K, and just put it out there to the analysts. They have to back this up with data. Otherwise, they could, face some serious legal ramifications. Citibank is saying 200K, very, very possible.
Yeah.
Do you think it's possible? I think
absolutely.
It's possible.
I mean, I've been calling for that the whole time, and that would be the end of diminished returns.
220-ish, right?
Yeah,
like
20. I'd say 20 either way, but yeah, 200K has been my number, like 180 to 220. This whole cycle, this whole season. Now, there's a lot of people calling for even higher numbers coming out. One thing we've been talking about around the office here is they've got those odds on Polymarket where you can bet on the price. It's almost like a different way to take along or bet futures almost, where it's like, I think.
And it's a way you get in and get out because you can sell the shares.
You can sell a portion of it or whatever. So might start even doing, like, there's some decent odds on like 140, 150. So might start looking at some of that next week. But yeah, 200K, absolutely possible. I mean, when you see here, like, what is I don't know if you saw this with MicroStrategy. They were doing a raise for
they initially
STRC.
wanted to get $500 million.
Right. And people wanted 2.5 billion. So they were only trying to raise 500 million, but 2.5 billion is what came in.
If you don't know, this is kind of like $100 stable coin. They had this thing that was going to have adjustable yield, and they'll adjust it like with a knob to keep this share price right near pegged $100. So they were going to sell $500 million worth. They're immediately going to use that to buy Bitcoin. The demand was so high, over $2 billion worth were sold. And so that's just much more Bitcoin buying pressure.
Yeah, exactly. They're adding way more Bitcoin. And this is some of the stuff we've been talking about with the fixed instrument assets. It's opening up some of those pension funds, some of those markets. You also had, this happened yesterday, huge mint of new Tether. That's new money coming into
Always
the
bullish.
system. Yeah, always bullish. It doesn't usually translate same day, but this is probably, we see what's playing out today. Maybe this weekend, this starts to really roll in next week. So yeah, really good stuff there. I had one other thing on that.
While you're looking at that, what do I think of Wormhole? Great bridge. It's probably the one I use primarily when I'm not using an exchange as a quote unquote bridge. Exchanges will hit you with fees a lot worse, but sometimes it's a little easier.
This was it. I mean, we've also got this Bank of America coming out here saying many banks are preparing to introduce stable coins. That is a huge inflow. Again, I think, who was it that came out and said, a lot of people saying that they aren't predicting a pullback in 2026, that this is just an extended bull market. I'm really starting to come on to that thinking as well. There's just so much buying pressure and so many. The cat is out of the bag when it comes to there's a better thing to hold than the dollar or real estate. Like, people all around the world are waking up to that, and money is flowing in like we've never seen before. So.
Yeah, and we do have another comment here. Thank you, DZ, answering that question. I'm going to have to look in a second here, but they're saying, you the man. Well, I want to say, chat, Disco fam, you are the man, and we appreciate that, and you can show that by hitting that like button. If you don't know, I was just trying to pull up I don't even have it. You the man. It was a movie with Eugene Levy, and I must have had the wrong. No, it's right here. Oh, it's The Man. I was gonna say it stars Josh's dad. It was all that just to do a Josh joke about his eyebrows.
Yeah, if you look at that, it almost looks like Josh right there. Like,
I want to get some of that eyebrow hair and just put on what I got lacking here. Yeah, I know it's a little shiny. Some of you have to wear with sunglasses. Some of you have to turn down the brightness on your screen. I do apologize. Can't help it. Let's talk about the big ancient Bitcoin whale, though. He sold a lot more yesterday. Sold it to Galaxy. That's Mike Novogratz here. Update. Galaxy sold 70,000 of the 80,000 Bitcoin that whale sent out. They sent 30,000 to exchanges overnight. A lot of people are upset at the timing of this because, it's during the twilight hours, a little bit less liquidity, had more of an effect on the price than people wanted. TJ, do you think it was sold during the wee hours purposely to have more of an impact? Or was it just like, I just got to make a move fast and we don't really care. We don't want to wait 12 hours.
Yeah, usually, I could be wrong here. My assumption is usually with deals like this of this size and this caliber, they're not trying to time the market as much as people think. They're not trying to manipulate things. It's just like they've probably been working on putting this. If you're trying to buy 30,000, 80,000 Bitcoin, you've been working on it for a long time. You're going to execute it when you can.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
And it could be a thing they think is going to go lower in 12 hours. So it's just like, we're better off selling now. So Satoshi era ancient whale, about $10 billion worth. He sent it to Galaxy. They ended up moving $1 billion to all these exchanges. So he's a long dormant whale from 2011, and he's raising concerns of a possible market correction. Now, after holding the stash since 2011, they first transferred 40K on July 15th, followed by a second transaction of 40K on July 18th. And they sent that to Galaxy Digital. We were covering this story then. We were like, we'll wait to see if they start selling. Well, they did start selling. So now these new transfers, paired with new auditing requirements from the Genius Act, have sparked concerns about industry watchers over a potential Bitcoin correction. Yet from a historical perspective, dormant whale movements have not consistently preceded significant market corrections, according to Bitfinex. Long-term whales are re-engaging with the network and may signal a broader shift towards readiness for the next institutional cycle. The way I read the sentence is those OG crypto cypherpunks are now passing the baton to BlackRock and their cronies as they say, you know what? I am sitting on $20 billion. What am I doing? Go ahead and take half.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I guess it was inevitable.
Yeah.
Now, Jacob King, I want to throw out the other side. I disagree with this take, but I think it's worth mentioning here. This is huge. The largest whales in history are dumping their holdings quietly this week, right as the government moves to enforce audit requirements on stablecoins like Tether. That alone will burst the biggest bubble in fraud in financial history. Bitcoin, entirely propped up by fake money printed out of thin air.
Wow.
No shit, Sherlock. And I excuse my language there, but yeah, Bitcoin is propped up because the money is fake and the money is printed out of thin air. If you can't see that distinction, you fail the IQ test.
Yeah.
I don't have any other message for Jacob King. I don't know this guy, CEO, Whale Wire, supposedly well connected, well respected here. Just this sounds so smooth brain. It makes my brain hurt.
Yeah, it doesn't. You clearly totally don't understand anything about Bitcoin if that's what you're saying.
Yeah, you're saying I get it. Tether's the fake money. Tether's backed by U.S. Treasuries.
Yeah.
That's the fake money.
Right.
Do you not get that? Do you not get that? Now, you brought up, this is kind of these whales, though, their sales, the sales are being bought up. We talked about this, it's 400% higher. Billions are going to be bought from, Michael Saylor in the near term. We got 35 companies now holding at least 1,000. And these are 35 publicly traded companies. And if you add it all up, $116 billion worth. And so we're all like sweating this whale selling 1 billion. Oh my God, it's propped up. It's fake. Everything's about to crash. 116 is up. And this is up from the 35 is up from 24 companies just at the end of March. So we're talking about a very short amount of time. And when you look at the accumulative holdings of these companies, I mean, yeah, sure, we might get little dips here and there, but I see this heading up and not really, relinquishing the move there. So companies are just going to hold more and more Bitcoin moving forward. That's my point here. Now let's talk about alt season, man. You ready to talk a little alt season?
Let's do it. Looks good to me.
There was one thing. Oh yeah, I did a little out of order. What's the M2 chart we always look at, TJ?
The M2, like the correlation of the Bitcoin and M2?
M2 and Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Yeah, they slap them on top of each other. What's the second largest crypto?
Ethereum.
Have you seen a single ETH M2 chart?
Not until yesterday.
Yeah. So here we go, man. This is from Ted Pillows. Is he like selling? He's like, KX partner.
Yeah. Great name.
What was the pillow guy that was?
Yeah,
Trump's
I'm trying
friend?
to think. I think it is just the pillow guy. Like what does? I'm trying to think. What was his name?
I can't remember. I think he's a little older than this guy though. But yeah, ETH is now catching up with global liquidity compared to the M2 supply growth. ETH should be trading above $8,000 by now. This is showing how undervalued ETH is right now. Probably one of the best trades out there. And if you look, M2 with the ETH chart, still a lot more room to run. Now, I like to see some analysts. Looks like if you move the correlation over a little bit, maybe basically move this blue line to the left, maybe we get a little bit cleaner chart here.
Yeah. Well, and that's what's interesting. A lot of times they have to do those offsets. I wonder if that's like an 80-day offset. A lot of people say, Mike, I've got it right here, by the way. So,
not
boom.
Ted.
No.
Yeah.
My pillow guy. There he is. There he is.
Is he cosplaying as Dr. Phil right there?
But anyway, back to and some things that actually matter.
Looks like he rips off old women in a nursing home.
Yeah, okay.
It's Saul Goodman vibes there.
Definitely looks like a politician.
This pillow is made from cotton from Mount Sinai. This is a Jesus pillow. Would you like to buy it for $1,000, Grandma? Right. Oh, okay. That's what I see happening there.
Yeah. But if you come back to this, I do think I'm curious to know what their offset is. If it's 40 days, 80 days, 112.
Yeah, that Bitcoins normally run the 77 to 111.
Yeah, exactly. So I imagine this is in that area, but that's kind of what you're talking about there. If you adjusted it just a touch, it would line up. So
not the pillow biter. Oh man, that's cold. All right, let's talk about alt season here. So you see ETH coiling up. So alt season 2025. Mirroring 2021 step by step, and we just completed wave 5. Now breakout is confirmed. Next vertical phase is pending, and it's actually pretty good analysis here. You can see 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Fourth wave, we spike, and then on the fifth, we come down and bounce as support. Boom, came down, bounce as support, and you see we move up, little pullback, we move up, little pullback, and now look at that. So pretty similar structure, no?
Yeah, no, it looks.
This is everything excluding Bitcoin is what we're looking at here.
Yeah, I was looking at a totally different, like I said, the rainbow chart before, and I like to look at very zoomed out stuff, more of a macro look, and it really looks like what we're going to experience in 2025. Range wise is going to be a lot closer to what we saw in 2017. Structure wise, I do think this lines up. Timing wise, we're heading towards alt season. And everything points to a Fed cut in September, which would be right in time for the euphoria and all sorts of
unless Trump talked him in doing like an emergency cut today.
Unless it happens sooner. But seems like September, Q4, it's party time, alt season. All your alts that you've been holding this whole time, accumulating, not all, most of them are going to be ripping and doing really well.
I don't know much about that Fed building renovations, but if they're actually removing steel and marble, that's almost a criminal offense.
Yeah, I don't know. I know they're expanding the basement in historic buildings, which is very expensive, but
or they're connecting tunnels to
who knows what they're doing.
Restaurants that have Italian dishes that are round. Let's I don't know what's wrong with me. Let's talk about Cathie Wood, everybody. Speaking of ETH, Cathie Wood is now super bullish on ETH. Cathie Wood's Ark sold 12 million Coinbase, 10 million Block, and $1 million in Robinhood, and then put 116 million into Bitmine. That's the Peter Thiel backed firm with ambitions to own 5% of all Ethereum. In last night's video, I pull up Peter Thiel. I talk about Peter Thiel, and so we talk about the ETH path to 10K. Peter Thiel's probably not someone I would say, you know what, I'm a counter trade that guy's investment. Pretty smart dude.
Yeah, pretty smart.
I did hear, I can't remember who. Oh, Sam Altman defending Peter Thiel on the Theo Vaughn podcast. Remember when Peter Thiel was asked, should humanity continue to survive? And he's like, Sam Altman coming to his defense.
What was his angle?
His brain works so differently that maybe he's obviously a very bright guy. And when I rewatched the clip, he said, should humanity endure? And I think he's so smart, like his brain fixated on the word endure, than mapping out game scenarios and what that means with a population of 10 billion, maybe a trillion if we're in the stars, if it's only 1,000 in a small village. And so I think his brain was just like endure. What does this mean? Just running multiple scenarios.
Yeah, I kind of had the same take on a lot of times he gets asked what feels like very basic questions, and yeah, his brain's going a million miles a minute as he's thinking about his answer. But yeah, he's just, I don't know. They're interesting ones to watch. He also, Sam Altman had a take on I think it was the same podcast. He said that people should be worried about the privacy factor of ChatGPT, or should be careful about uploading sensitive data because the government could compel them to turn over anything and everything that you've ever put in ChatGPT could become government property under a certain framework. And he basically acknowledged that and said, yeah, I'd be careful uploading anything sensitive until we know the privacy issue, or until we get that sorted out. So just keep that in mind. If you're uploading personal stuff, health records, anything like that, and for whatever reason, you ever end up in the court system and the government wants it, they can get it.
They can get it, and they will get it. Just ask the people holding gold 100 years ago. The Pengu trade, just checking in, we are up 28%, which is 16x, which is probably a little crazy for Pengu, but we're doing all right on that one. Ryan Sean Adams, big name in the ETH space. And I'll read your super chat, Connor. ETH inflows have flipped Bitcoin inflows every day for the past 5 days. He's now using the F word. Everybody cover your kids' ears. But now people are talking about ETH flippening. I would say this is maybe the first credible flippening prediction I've heard this cycle. We're
Yeah, I mean,
more.
there hasn't been any talk of a flippening since 2017, as far as I can remember, maybe 2016, where it got pretty close market cap wise. Obviously, I'm not on that train. I think if Ethereum is going to perform very well, let's say it gets to even if it gets all the way to 2 trillion, I mean, Bitcoin's already at 2.3. So I see Ethereum performing extremely well. Maybe he's talking about a long-term flippening in market cap, not necessarily, so I don't know. I don't think that happens. I think Bitcoin remains the top dog most of my life. But hey, I love it.
All right, we got $5 super chat. Bitcoin holders have small TVs and big libraries. Altcoin holders, small libraries, big TVs. And then I would add to that, Hex holders, they have Meta VR goggles. The screen is their entire vision. No library. And then you have, what's the smart? I'm not going to say Cardano. Chainlink. Chainlink holders, vast library. Their TV, Apple Watch. There you go. All right. Sorry, Hex holders. There's nothing wrong with your chain. All right,
well,
let's.
That's not true.
That's not true.
You're getting scammed.
Richard is an interesting individual. He came out. We all went to the weekend concert.
Yeah.
We went to like the most, I don't even want to say the word, but like the occult style R&B artist.
Yeah,
that's who we went to see with Richard Hart. What were we thinking? It was like 2021, 22. It was the bull market. Give us a little slack. Early 22. Let's talk about BlackRock ETH ETF, third fastest to hit $10 billion in assets. Let's look at number one, number two, though. So this emerges as one of the fastest ETFs ever, joining the ranks alongside 2 other crypto funds. BlackRock's ETH ETF, third fastest, 10 billion. Amazingly, they went from, so they're at 10 billion. It's been a while, right? They opened this a while ago, 10 billion, but it went from 5 billion to 10 billion in just 10 days.
Yeah, basically recently.
Yeah. And if you're wondering, well, how long ago did it launch? 251 days. So 241 days to hit 5 billion. 10 days later, it is now doubled. Let's look at number one. Let's look at number two. Number one, IBIT. So ETH is 251. IBIT did it in 34 days, and Fidelity did it in 54 days. So Bitcoin taking basically the lead here. But if you look at what's happening lately, ETH ETFs have a 14-day inflow streak, whereas Bitcoin has the last 3 days of outflows. And so ETH ETFs have just been crushing the Bitcoin ETFs.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing that's awesome and fascinating is far and away the best performing ETFs ever of all time are all 3 crypto. You've got BlackRock's Bitcoin fund, Fidelity's Bitcoin fund, and BlackRock's Ethereum fund.
Yeah, they talk about, I think, the S&P 500 one. Yeah, the other one, JP Morgan NASDAQ Equity Premium, 444 days.
Yeah, look at that graph. Look at those first 2. I mean, it's like if that's not the best if that doesn't tell you, that graph right there should tell you everything you need to know.
Look at that 5 billion in 10 days vertical line on the green one.
Everybody, smart money is hammering into this stuff right now. They do not care about the price, and they are not short-term holders. This is long-term accumulation that's happening right now, and I think that's part of why this cycle is getting extended, because they're trying to not do it too fast. But I mean, look at that. That's insane.
That is insane. I mean, crypto's just dancing on the graves of the traditional ETFs, is moonwalking on it, man. Now let's move forward here and talk XRP.
Yeah, real quick. I want to finish this BlackRock. This was a big thing too. BlackRock's head of digital assets resigned to join SharpLink, which is an ETH treasury company.
SBET is the ticker.
Yes. And so that's another indication we're going to see a lot more of Ethereum accumulation. Seems like the entire stock market's going to be built on it. So that's bullish for Ethereum, bullish for Chainlink. I did want to mention this Chainlink thing just while we've got it. Chainlink's decentralized Oracle network secures over 54 billion worth of the value on chain. 60% of all value reported by DeFi Llama. So when you're talking about a huge advantage, that's a very large advantage.
Yeah. I threw out the 61% earlier, and it was only from me seeing this yesterday. So don't be like, oh man, he just knows the DeFi Llama like any day of the week. I saw the same post. I don't want to sound smarter than I am. I'm just doing our best. I'm doing my best, man.
You're doing great.
Look, we're all, we're set with what we have, and we just got to make the best of it. Now, let's talk about XRP versus Ethereum. Ooh. Give us an ETH or XRP in the chat right now. What do you think is going to be the best performer this cycle from where we're at now? Both of these tokens have had pretty good gains over the last, say 90 days. XRP or ETH, I'm going to say, man, I want to say it's ETH. Maybe I could have gone the other way, but the XRP leadership has just been selling a lot. And I think more and more people are coming hip to that fact.
I think so too. I think over the last 12 months, it may have been XRP. Over the next 12 months, it's definitely Ethereum.
Oh yeah. Oh, let's look at that. Some of the how's it done, in the past. So XRP vastly outperformed ETH over the past year, but institutional demand for Ether could change the trend. I haven't said in a while. Ether is technically how you say Ethereum when you're talking about the coin form. So Ether and XRP best performing large cap crypto assets over the past 30 days. Well, we don't trust we verify here in the Disco fam. So let's go to CoinGecko. Let's hit refresh. And we're going to look at the 30-day here. ETH up 49.5. Let's see. XRP 37.2. That is more than Dogecoin at 35. And that is more than Cardano at 35. And it's more than SWI at 31. So yeah, XRP and ETH, major assets, nothing has been moving stronger. So congrats if you're holding these two tokens. Now, XRP has significantly performed over the past year as well, not just 30 days. Since July 24, XRP is up 550%. ETH, 6%.
Yeah, ETH was the slowest mover for the last, several. That's why I think it's about to move right now. And the money's been pouring into it. It's gonna be the most hated rally. So many people out there saying it was dead. Yeah, so and sometimes that's what you're looking for. You want to be in the ones that haven't run yet. That's another reason why I think Avalanche is a decent pick, because it's kind of waiting to make its new highs and that sort of stuff. So, all
right, we got a $2 super chat on Black Hole Sun, the song by Stone Temple Pilots. We'll
nice.
Talk about that in a second. Now, year-to-date performance also highlights XRP's strength with the token climbing. So year-to-date is just going to be from January 1st. Went from 208 to 310, 49% increase. ETH 9.5 over that same period. Now, whale accumulation has played a significant role here for both of these. According to Sentiment, 2,700 wallets now hold over 1 million XRP each. That's roughly 4.4% of the total circulating supply. So we're seeing the whales are stepping up in a major way for XRP. It's Garlinghouse's nephew, everybody. It's not that, though. We had a $2 super chat here. What are your thoughts? If you could pull that up,
yeah,
I'll pull up the token here.
I've got it right here.
Black Hole. All right, let's look it up.
Here's Black Hole. This is the one we've been crushing with in the Discord. Sitting at 137 fully diluted market cap right now. It's having very good performance. We literally got in here the day it launched. Everybody in the Discord crushing it. They're making good money on their fees. As you guys know, we've talked about a lot. Elio and Becker, Elio trades, and I'm not just spaced on his name, Alex Becker. I want to call him Zach Becker for some reason.
Z Becker.
Yeah, Z Becker. Big proponents of this one. I think it's going to have great marketing throughout the rest of this cycle. Price prediction is tough. Just loosely, if you look at Aerodrome here, at a 1.46 billion market cap. This one's sitting at a 137 million market cap. So just to get up to similar levels of near Aerodrome, which obviously Aerodrome on base, there's definitely more volume on base than there is on Avalanche. That being said, I think it's pretty conservative to think this could perform similarly. I think this will be the Aerodrome of Avalanche. So conservatively, I'd say you could 10x this pretty easy.
Should we show the Alex Becker post 20 hours ago? I decided I'd check in on Alex Becker.
Sure, I don't know what it is. So that's a loaded question because it could be anything.
Fight Club. He's ripped.
Oh yeah. It's his sure.
Yeah, shout out to Alex Becker. Now bullish on Cardano. That was his project. Essentially, he's very well connected to it. A fat friend told me losing weight isn't as simple as not eating. Plus, he'd lose his muscle gains. For pure trolls, I lost 10 pounds in 2.5 weeks to get Fight Club ripped, and send them this with stop being fat. Friends don't let friends be fats.
Yeah.
Plural. Troll and shame them till they're thin. All right.
I saw that thing and I sent it to Drew and DZ and said, we need a fat shame. Friends don't let friends be fat. So I'm trying to lose a little bit of weight. I clocked in around 210.
I like to be 195. I'm definitely going to get to about 200, and I'm probably about 4 pounds into that journey. And in about a week, I got the noob gains or noob losses.
There you go. So I haven't worked out since like October, and I can feel it. And I'm definitely next week, basically August, I'm getting back into the.
So we have a hip hop influencer, Atlanta-based gym underneath us. I'm not kidding. What is it? The dude from Ray Strummer,
Yeah.
Black Beatles. He's like training boxing for his fights there. Are we going to have a gym still? Do you even know?
We are not gonna. We are moving the gym, the full gym. It's not going to be at the same location as our office, but we will. I'm going to try to have at least a room for some workout stuff. I don't know. It's not going to be like nothing like what we have now, but I mean that will still exist. It's just going to be in Kennesaw, hopefully. So we'll see.
All right, put a lot of pull-up bars, and we got to hang upside down when we leverage trade. All right,
there you go.
Let's talk about XRP RLUSD. That's their stable coin. Who's using it? People who aren't supposed to be using it. Ripple executives initially suggested it might be limited to institutional use, but now it's gaining traction in retail. And so they launched it late 2024. They highlighted institutional focus, but still with the adoption by self-custodial wallets and integration with platforms, the stablecoin appears to be expanding beyond enterprise use. They have some data here now addressing the usage. They highlighted a gap between the amount issued on ETH and the number of users preferring XRPL, basically the Ripple blockchain. ETH issued stablecoin, the RLUSD, 88%. So basically 7 out of the $8 are on ETH. Of the $557 million market cap, meaning only 1 out of the 8 tokens is on XRP. So the vast majority is on Ethereum. However, most of the holders, 90% on the XRPL, leaving only 10% to Ethereum. So clearly the XRP community wants this, begging for it, demanding it, kicking down the door, trying to get access to it. This could be another, I would say, leg up for XRP if they get a strong, robust DeFi ecosystem.
Yeah,
I don't know if it gets it to $10, but there's deal for $5.
I think that's part of what's so frustrating when you see the action or inaction from Ripple. There's tons of opportunity. They've got plenty of money. Like people are so mad at Pump Fund for not engaging with their ecosystem. Somehow that same anger doesn't go towards Ripple. But yeah, it would be very easy for them to inject some of the money that they already have into that ecosystem and create a DeFi thing that I mean, their users are big fans. People would use it. It's not going to be used by banks and institutions, which clearly it isn't. But I guarantee you they could create a meme rotation onto the XRPL for people to make that money that would get some attention and draw some new users in and attract retail, and they could continue to dump on them.
Someone's asking about Axelar, which is an interesting project that I actually used. Not many projects you say, oh, I use it. I was using it. It's a Polkadot ecosystem play, if I'm not mistaken here. Use so many chains, so many different times. So Axelar, I mean, this is one I actually was very bullish on. I think I did sell my bag. I put it back into what was it on? I think I maybe put it back into Moonbeam, and then I put the Moonbeam back into Dot. Maybe I'd have to really go on chain and look. But Axelar always had great UI, and someone's saying it looks like let's see, I'll pull it up here. How high could it go? Multi-chain real world asset play. I did not know this. XRP uses it to connect to the EVM. Yeah, it's a very good interoperability play. That being said, I mean, I was pretty bullish because I was actually using it. I don't know. I mean, I don't think I caught the exact top or anything, but we could see the writing on the wall. We just had exited the sinking ship here. Now that does look very good. We're looking at the market cap here. The price, I mean, that's pretty good. It looks like it was flirting with the $1 billion, rejected right around there. So maybe that's where I would be looking to take a lot of profits there. Maybe around 950 million, maybe even 850 million there. So Axelar, I've used it. I like it.
I like that pick. I mean, our RWAs are going to be one of the hottest niches, I think, this cycle. And if this one is relevant,
oh yeah, this looks way different than when I was using it back in the day.
DeFi. Yeah, maybe we should do a deep dive on that.
It's worth going into DeFi Llama and actually checking on chain.
Yeah, I want to see what's actually on there. What are they locking up? How's it working? All that sort of stuff.
Yeah, and if you don't know what DeFi Llama is a great site to look into projects and just see, how often people are using it, or is it kind of making any money? Let's see here, Axelar. and you're going to see different metrics up here. We're on a small screen, so I think maybe hiding some buttons here. All right, there you go. Information TVL.
Look at that spike though. Well, right, boom. What was that? What date is that? Where that huge spike?
April. Yeah, the TVL huge spike. I'm guessing that's the XRP integration. Yeah, I was not aware that they did. Maybe I think I remember someone maybe saying something there, but consistently going up. So that's pretty good right there. Ad metrics. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Yeah, we can look at things like, seeing if they had revenue on here. They don't have that. So I'll do a little deeper dive on that one. So yeah, worth checking out. I'm a fan of how it looked and how it performed as far as, being an actual crypto product, but we have to see what the unlocks look like. That's another thing worth looking into for that token. Tokenomist or token.unlocks. You can find, are the VCs about to dump a whole bunch on you in like a month or two? That might coincide with a lot of people talking bullishly. But now let's talk about Fartcoin. TJ, you had this thought here, and this post really encapsulates it. Pump.fun is more like dump.notfun. And what they could have done is just highlight the #1 performing company, crypto asset, runner that came out of the ecosystem. D-Train here, weird name. My career is in sales for tech startups. We would get one big name win and then tell that story in every sales call for the next 2 years. Fartcoin is Pump's #1 flagship win. They should be publicizing this nonstop. They should take 500 million of that 2 billion and shove it straight into the chart. $10 Fartcoin would get them so much publicity they don't even know. Find the next Fartcoin on pump.fun from 10K. I wouldn't even say that. Oh, yeah. This is the marketing angle they could do. Find the next Fartcoin from 10,000 to 10 billion. Find the next Million X, $1 into $1 million. Make your wildest dreams come true. It would be so easy. A marketer's dream, moist even.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's basically what I was saying. You could just champion that forever. You don't really need anything else. You could talk about that for this whole rest of this cycle, another year, another 2. You could build ad campaigns around it. You've got plenty of money to do it. You could run them on, reputable places.
You put on the UFC octagon floor.
Yeah, something if they'd let you, like
it'd be Dana White's second crypto.
Yeah, or you could go do some biz dev. Like there's so much they could do, but instead they're trying to compete to be a streaming platform. Like it's just that's such a miss in my opinion. Like there's so many hurdles to get over, so many regulations, you're competing with other people that you think you have a lot of money until you start competing with Google, until you start competing with Amazon. Like good luck.
Now checking in on Bitcoin's price. Yeah, we have had a nice little rally during the stream here. You can see we're looking at the 3-minute candles. I'm looking at Bitcoin dominance. Never mind. Let's go to 3-minute candle here. Yes, I was like, that seems like it's too long. Yeah, we've got a nice little move to the upside here. I don't know if we're losing momentum on the small time frames. Very, very small time frame could easily continue with the bullishness, but I'm in Pengu long. I don't like being in a illiquid long, so we just closed that at a 32% here. So small amount, but we're just here having a little fun. I could see Pengu was about to bounce, something about that. Now, shout out to Ondo man Josh. The number of new Ondo addresses has quadrupled in the past week. Clear sign of accelerating network growth and rising demand. Keep an eye out on Ondo in the near term. This one might move. And also seeing more and more signs that NFTs are going to start coming back. A whale has now spent we talked about a whale that spent 1 million about a week ago. Now we got, I don't know if it's the same person, 4 million. And I decided to go just look at CryptoPunks. Let's hit refresh. You can go to activity. And 31 minutes ago, 5 hours ago, 6 hours ago, 7 hours ago, the average price here is, floor price is $185,000. So people are just casually moving around these almost $250,000 NFT JPEGs. And these things are flying like hotcakes. Yeah, that looks like his wallet right there. 9 hours, 9 hours, 9 hours, 9 hours. Yeah, this man just went ham buying multiple floor punks there. And let's just see. I think they have it. Yeah, the cheapest one, rarest items for sale, best deals. Just give me I haven't seen their new UI. This sucks.
What do you think about this? When NFTs are mentioned, that means sell everything.
No, when NFTs are talked about by Mr. Beast and Logan Paul, that's when you sell everything.
Yeah,
when quiet whales are accumulating and the only people who even know that this is happening are dorks that read crypto publications. So that isn't mainstream yet.
No,
when NFTs are mainstream, sell everything.
When Jimmy Fallon's buying an
that
NFT.
was clearly a sign.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say we're pretty far away. But I do
Oh.
like, you know, NFTs as a top signal.
Black Hole Sun, Soundgarden. Yeah,
Great song. Great
no,
song.
I
Great
think
music
earlier
video.
you said somebody else.
I was fascinated by it when I was, I think, 12, 11 years old when that song came out. Very, very alternative 90s music videos were great. Like Smells Like Teen Spirit and the dingy, damp basement, or no, it was a gym Nirvana was playing in. But yeah, do we even make music videos anymore?
I don't know.
I don't even know. I don't even know. They just do concerts and they're like movies now, like Taylor Swift. But let's end here. We're going to go straight into a members stream shortly after this. We're going to post on the members tab here on YouTube. But if you're in the Discord, come join. Ask me any question. Ask me about the stock market. Ask me about meme coins. Ask me about Cardano. Win a whole show not mentioning it. Ask me about some open trades. And we'll discuss my thesis for the 2 trades that I'm still in. So hopefully, folks, I'll see you in there shortly.
Almost went a whole show without mentioning it.
Almost.